Charlie Heller is the CIA's most brilliant computer analyst, whose life is turned upside down when his wife is murdered in a terrorist attack. Wrought with grief, Charlie decides her killers must pay. Without any field experience, Charlie must trek the globe and use his biggest weapon, his intelligence, to enact his revenge. Because the most unexpected threat is an amateur. Starring Academy Award winner Rami Malek and Academy Award nominee Lawrence Fishburne. The Amateur, rated PG-13. Only in theaters and IMAX April 11th.
I don't seem to have time for podcasts.
This is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater. Sorry, you guys, if you hear my dogs in the background, they're real grouchy at us right now.
Big yawn. On today's episode, we're discussing Mystery Island, Winner Takes All, which originally aired on Hallmark Mystery and concurrently on Hallmark Channel on Thursday, March 13th. Hang out with us when the podcast is over. Y'all can find us on Instagram. We are Girls Gone Hallmark.
Jump into our Facebook group, Girls Gone Hallmark, in Facebook groups.
I feel like some people are going to yell at us after this episode. That's a good place to do it. But you should also email us, girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com. Feel free to disagree with our reviews. Feel free to send us your thoughts on these movies. We are trying to put together regular listener mailbag episodes because y'all loved the Way Home ones so much. girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com. I do not believe we have any Hallmark news today, so we're going to jump right to a synopsis for Mystery Island, Winner Takes All.
Mystery Island hosts contest winners vying to solve a fake murder for a grand prize, but the event goes awry when an employee is murdered and secrets are uncovered.
Stephen R. Monroe directed Mystery Island, Winner Takes All, which marks his 58th directorial project. His other Hallmark credits include 5 Gold Rings, Caribbean Summer, A Winter Getaway, and Love to the Rescue.
The script was written by John Christian Plummer, who also wrote the first movie and created these characters. Plummer has an impressive Hallmark mystery resume, including all 7 Mystery 101 films, several Curious Caterer movies, Francesca Quinn P.I., and the last holiday season's 5 Gold Rings.
Elizabeth Henstridge returns as Dr. Amelia Priestley. With 20 acting credits, she's likely familiar for her long-running role as Gemma on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. For Hallmark, she also starred in the 2019 holiday film Christmas at the Plaza.
Charlie Weber also returns as Detective Jason Trent. Charlie has a healthy resume of projects, including 90 episodes of How to Get Away with Murder. For Hallmark, Charlie has been seen in Christmas Bedtime Stories from 2022.
Keswick Burrows plays Jane Alcott. Keswick has 43 previous acting credits with projects like the BBC medical drama Doctors, as well as tons of video game voice work.
Kristen Booth plays CC Cassandra Cornwall. Kristen is probably best known on Hallmark as Shane on Signed, Sealed, Delivered. She has an incredibly deep resume with an impressive 105 acting credits.
And if you missed it, go back and listen to our interview with Kristen that aired last week right here on Girls Gone Hallmark. Henry Toohey plays Fredericks, another returning character from the first Mystery Island movie. Henry is a voiceover artist and actor of the stage and screen. These 2 Mystery Island movies are his only projects for Hallmark.
Adam Rocco Vega plays James. This is his first project for Hallmark, but Adam has appeared in other projects like the Hulu series We Were the Lucky Ones, as well as a supporting role in the 2022 Batman movie, which I didn't realize Batman was still making movies.
Oh, they're never going to stop.
Not my genre.
Alice Franziska Woodhouse plays podcast host Alice. This is just her 4th acting project, according to IMDb.
Cherry Bagnall plays Aunt Louise, and Mystery Island marks her 3rd acting project. Can I just say I love the name Cherry? I think that is so cute.
Jim Mannering plays Ted Cornwall. This is Jim's first Hallmark gig, but he's appeared in a handful of horror movies like Nightmare on 34th Street.
It's a Christmas horror movie.
And The Last Village on the Right.
I know. I paused when I was pulling these movies. I was like, Nightmare on 34th Street. And then I see the poster. I was like, oh, it's Christmas horror. Okay. Jack Brett Anderson plays finance brother Davis. He has 30 previous acting credits with a regular stint on the British fantasy teen drama Wolfblood.
Rafael de Gruchola plays Bobby. Raffaello has 62 previous acting credits with 6 upcoming projects. He's been in so many projects, including the previously mentioned Doctors, Ted Lasso, What a Girl Wants, and Saving Private Ryan.
Remember What a Girl Wants?
With
Amanda.
Amanda Bynes.
Amanda Bynes, yeah.
Did you watch the Amanda Bynes Jenny Garth series?
I did because it was post Beverly Hills 90210, and
I watched every episode of it.
Yeah, no, not really. I think I watched like a handful of episodes. Mm-hmm. Any good? How many seasons? 2?
Maybe 2.
Yeah. To round out our cast, Randy Dominguez plays Chief of Police Ray. Randy also appeared in the first Mystery Island.
Let's take a quick break before we come back with our first impressions.
Tired of listening to the same old playlists or podcasts over and over? Maybe it's time to mix things up. Try something new. Hit explore. Avoid the blah and the boring before you even put your headphones in. Add some fun in the mix. Say yabba dabba doo to a bowl of Pebble cereal and enjoy by the spoonful. Fruity and Cocoa Pebble cereal. Less blah, more yabba dabba doo. Head to your nearest grocery store to buy Pebble cereal today. The Flintstones and all related characters and elements copyright and trademark Hanna-Barbera.
Are your ulcerative colitis symptoms proving difficult to manage? Tremfya guselkumab can help you manage the cycle of UC symptoms. At 1 year, many patients taking Tremfya achieved clinical remission, and some patients also achieved endoscopic remission. Individual results may vary. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Ask your doctor if Tremfya can help you manage the cycle of UC symptoms. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more, or visit tremfyaradio.com.
It's time for our first impressions of Mystery Island. Winner takes all. Wendy, go for it.
I have a feeling our first impressions might be the same.
Oh,
I just have that feeling.
okay.
You know, sometimes we have that synergy.
Yeah.
This might be it. If this island was a real place, I'd be booking my vacation elsewhere because murder ain't good for business, y'all.
That is one of my, definitely in my notes.
Same.
But my first impression is I've never felt so personally called out in a Hallmark movie.
Tell me more.
It's just a, you know, podcasting is very poo-pooed in this movie.
Yes.
It's just a joke. I can take it. I can be the butt of the joke.
I have seen podcasting be mentioned more than once now on Hallmark. We're mainstream media, baby.
That's right.
Let's talk about what we liked.
Okay, can I go first? Because I'm afraid that I really struggled with this movie.
Okay.
First, I like the collection of characters. I think in choosing a cast of people to come to this island to solve this mystery, I think they did a nice job. It's fun that they had the podcaster and the cop and the crime writer and the husband who's kind of bumbling along on his wife's coattails and this fake relationship that's actually a real. I liked that collection of characters. That goes directly into one of my wishes, which I will not share right now. But
okay.
Another thing that I liked is in the opening scene, we see them like searching the villa for clues, and then it cuts back to them in the office. I liked that they used that device to show what they were doing instead of just talking through, like, then they can be walking through and maybe they find a dead body in the refrigerator. Instead, we see them open the refrigerator and they find it adds an extra fun layer.
I still think the game within the movie concept is fun.
Yeah.
I have a lot of thoughts about it, though.
Yeah.
I have a lot of thoughts about it. It does make the Mystery Island franchise a little bit different when you have this game element to it. It's not quite executed to my liking, and I'm going to talk about it in my wishes.
Okay.
But I think it's still fun.
I kind of like that they kept playing the murder game for fun to give them something to do. I was like, yeah, let's continue that. Let's figure out, let's go close that loop.
Sure. My second thing I really liked is I loved seeing Kristen Booth in a character that was against type for her on Hallmark. She's been in, like I said before, like she's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But for Hallmark, a lot of the Hallmark fans or the Sign Seal Deliver fans know her as this like warm and smart and loving Shane, right?
Yeah, Cece's the anti-Shane.
She is. And I gotta tell you, I love kind of this prickly character. She's got like this eye roll that does not quit. Her reactions to a lot of like the stuff happening mirrored my own reactions.
I think Kristen Booth is the standout actor in this movie. I think Cece is the standout character in this movie. And I know people are going to say that I'm saying that because we know and enjoy Kristen Booth. And personally, she is the best part of this movie for me.
I have some more about Kristen in my wishes.
Okay. Yeah, give her more to do.
My next thing I really liked is I do enjoy Emilia and Jason's chemistry. Jason, that's his name, right? I do enjoy their chemistry. They have a vibe of two people who enjoy each other, but they're not like too stubborn to admit it. Mm-hmm. You know, like they're obviously flirting with each other. I like it. There are some like things that I felt were like wildly misplaced at times. I'm gonna talk about it in my wishes, but I do enjoy their like push and pull kind of like, we work together, but we're also like vibing on each other.
Yeah, I like them too. I like, you know, we saw that at the end of the first movie that there was some hope that maybe they could continue getting to know each other better. And I like that they're being kind of clear about it. Like they're not hiding the fact that there's some attraction there.
Yeah.
When we're dealing with a movie that is going to be a part of what they hope is a continued franchise of movies, we're in the space where nothing can happen with them.
Yes.
They have to build that.
Yes.
And so that feels a little frustrating as a viewer.
I agree with you. That's a really good point.
I think we could do a lot more, and I know we're not in our wishes, but I think we could do a lot more with the two of them if they were truly working in tandem, if they truly had a relationship, instead of like trying to build this relationship and also, oh, there's a murder.
Mm-hmm. I like that they had a murder board.
I really loved their murder board too. And they call it a murder board. And they said they had murder boards in every room because people were going to be solving these.
Yeah, no, I love that. It was needed because I felt like this plot was a little bit overcomplicated. But I like that we're seeing these in Hallmark mystery movies.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready to dig into the wishes?
I am. I have mentioned last time we reviewed a mystery, I was like, maybe I just don't like mysteries. And I'm trying to decide, do I not like mysteries or did I just not like this movie? I don't know. So my homework to myself is I'm going to watch the movie Knives Out, which I think this movie emulates a little bit, where you have a group of people that are together, a murder occurs, and we got to figure out who among the group is a murderer. And I'm going to figure out, do I like that style of movie? I really struggled with this movie. One, I found the pacing to be very slow.
Oh, interesting.
That being said, finding the pacing slow, it's contradictory for me because I also found that there was entirely too much happening to the point that it took so long at the end for them to wrap it up. That is a minutes-long scene where they're explaining everyone's motivation and why they were involved. And I was like, wait a minute. If you have to explain it to the people who were there watching it happen, it was too much for me.
I don't think you're wrong. My number one wish, there's not enough Boothy in this movie.
100%.
It's a simple but important complaint, I think, because if Kristen Booth is in your movie, use her. She was great in her scenes, but I remember being disappointed at the end of it, thinking like, that's all we get from her. I love her. I thought Cece, Cassandra Cornwall, was the most captivating character of the bunch, like you said earlier. I felt like she was just sort of hovering around the edges of the story without being like part of it.
And she has a really interesting story. She's a crime writer who's run out of ideas and is like, stealing them. And her husband has been, just riding along on her coattails, and now he's lost all there's so much going on there.
I wish that was
the story.
The story.
Yeah.
That would have been far more interesting than James and like what?
Nope. Agree.
Okay. All right. let's talk about is this franchise sustainable?
Well, that is on my list. I love the idea of the game. Seems very fun, right? Mm-hmm. If someone's actually gonna die, this is not you cannot get me to buy in that people are going to come back.
That they're still coming.
One time, fine. Mm-hmm. The second
because
time,
should we go to hotels where people have died before? Like on
people have died.
You know?
Sure.
Yeah.
But now you've hosted 2 Mystery Island events and people die not just die, people are murdered. Mm-hmm. That's an important distinction here. Mm-hmm. I'm not going. Who's going to go to that?
Yeah.
And how do you it is hard enough with these franchises to buy in that like everybody in the town where Hannah Swenson lives is at risk. Like, don't come in contact with Hannah Swenson because your next head's going to be on a platter.
Anybody. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's hard enough in those, but Mystery Island is a place that you have to intentionally go.
A destination where chances are you might get killed.
So how do they fix it?
Well, okay, here's my thought process. I think in these 2 movies we've seen that the actual murder element like muddies what could be a fun movie to watch if we were watching the game actually unfold.
Yeah, why can't it just be the game?
Exactly. So I thought, Meg and I talk about the show Traitors a lot. We are watching a game. I know it's a reality competition show we're watching, but they are playing a game.
Yes.
And there's a murder element to it.
Yes, a fake murder element.
A fake murder element with like a whodunit and a this and that. It's compelling to watch. It's fun to watch. I wish that they could make this franchise into that.
Yeah, and you there needs to be stakes, right? There needs to be some sort of stakes at the game that makes it as compelling as an actual murder to solve. And that's the piece that they have to figure out. But I don't see how we can. And the problem is they've already set the premise that someone actually dies every time.
Yeah.
I like the idea of this, but I have struggled with the execution a little bit. And because I was like, yeah, let's do something different than just the way we've always seen it done. Mm-hmm. But I think we are pushing the limits of believability. And I say this as a person whose one of my favorite shows is about people who jump in a pond and travel to the past. So, do you have any more wishes?
I have a couple more. Okay. I thought there was too much happening at once. Kind of like you said, there's like, it's so slow, but then there's too much happening.
Yes. Or, I don't know if I wrote this here. I wrote it in my other notes. Was there too much happening or am I just a dumbass? Because I found it hard to follow and I don't consider myself.
Yeah, no, I think this movie throws everybody into the mix. And when you do that, it makes it way too complicated because we have like the NYPD detective and his shady dealings, right? James and his mysterious past, Cassandra and her plagiarism, Frederick's secrets, the man who's killed. And then we have like Jane, the like CEO drama. It's hard to like track
what's important,
what matters. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Like give me 1 or 2 solid suspects. Not everybody. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Not everybody. One last thing that I kind of bothered me, and I mentioned it in my likes. I like Amelia and Jason, and they're like, their vibes they give off, but they were like they are in the middle of a murder investigation and there was too much flirtation going on.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember the specific details right now, but like sometimes I was like, you're scared. You're walking back to your room and like you're scared because you don't know who the murderer is, but they're like flirting.
Yeah, it was serious and not serious enough at the same time.
Exactly. Thank you for.
Let's do Did You See That? I have but one.
I don't have any. I have 2 questions, though, but go ahead.
Okay, when they walk into Bobby's hotel room and they find him hanging, they do not react at all. Yeah. Like, they see the fate, then they kind of look at each other like, this again? Uh-huh. And I was like, the man is hanging. That is a shocking experience, even on an island where people end up murdered. Let us react a little more appropriately.
Okay, so mine is in the vein of that, and this feels a little dark for Hallmark. Have we ever seen a hanging man on Hallmark?
I felt the same way. I think that the problem with hanging is that I don't know why it feels darker to point towards something that is self-inflicted as opposed to a murder, but it does. And I think that's a place that we don't really go very often on Hallmark. I thought it was dark, and I thought their lack of reaction was shocking.
Yeah, they're just like they were totally desensitized.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or they had already written him off as a bad guy, so finding that he was dead wasn't a blow.
Yeah. I have one question. At one point, they talk about somebody, I can't remember who, having GHB in his system.
Isn't that the date rape drug?
Grandma, check it in. I don't know. It said nervous system depressant produces feelings of euphoria, relaxation, social ability.
It's a party drug and a date rape drug.
Okay.
It's not roofies because that's Rohypnol, but it's in those veins. It's used.
Somebody has GHB in their system, and I was like, what? That's like a hard illegal drug, and we're talking about it on Hallmark? Shocked.
Yeah.
Kind of shocked.
Yeah. Don't disagree.
What'd you rate?
I gave it 2.5 stars.
I gave it 2.75 stars.
Please let us know what you thought of Mystery Island by emailing us girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com. And thank you for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark. We're a Bramble Jam podcast. And if you love this podcast, we just love your 5-star ratings and reviews. We will be back next time with more Hallmark reviews. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.
Tired of listening to the same old playlists or podcasts over and over? Maybe it's time to mix things up. Try something new. Hit explore. Avoid the blah and the boring. Before you even put your headphones in, add some fun in the mix. Say yabba dabba doo to a bowl of Pebble cereal and enjoy by the spoonful. Fruity and Cocoa Pebble cereal. Less blah, more yabba dabba doo. Head to your nearest grocery store to buy Pebble cereal today. The Flintstones and all related characters and elements copyright and trademark Hanna-Barbera.
With leading networking and connectivity, advanced cybersecurity, and expert partnership, Comcast Business helps turn today's enterprises into engines of modern business. Powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities. Restrictions apply.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Sign up for Greenlight today at greenlight.com/podcast.
Tired of listening to the same old playlists or podcasts over and over? Maybe it's time to mix things up. Try something new. Hit explore. Avoid the blah and the boring. Before you even put your headphones in, add some fun in the mix. Say yabba dabba doo to a bowl of Pebble cereal and enjoy by the spoonful. Fruity and Cocoa Pebble cereal. Less blah, more yabba dabba doo. Head to your nearest grocery store to buy Pebble cereal today. The Flintstones and all related characters and elements copyright and trademark Hanna-Barbera.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Sign up for Greenlight today at greenlight.com/podcast.
Tired of listening to the same old playlists or podcasts over and over? Maybe it's time to mix things up. Try something new. Hit explore. Avoid the blah and the boring. Before you even put your headphones in, add some fun in the mix. Say yabba dabba doo to a bowl of Pebble cereal and enjoy by the spoonful. Fruity and cocoa Pebble cereal. Less blah, more yabba dabba doo. Head to your nearest grocery store to buy Pebble cereal today. The Flintstones and all related characters and elements, copyright and trademark Hanna-Barbera.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Sign up for Greenlight today at greenlight.com/podcast.
Tired of listening to the same old playlists or podcasts over and over? Maybe it's time to mix things up. Try something new. Hit explore. Avoid the blah and the boring. Before you even put your headphones in, add some fun in the mix. Say yabba dabba doo to a bowl of Pebble cereal and enjoy by the spoonful. Fruity and cocoa Pebble cereal. Less blah, more yabba dabba doo. Head to your nearest grocery store to buy Pebble cereal today. The Flintstones and all related characters and elements, copyright and trademark Hanna-Barbera.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Sign up for Greenlight today at greenlight.com/podcast.
Tired of listening to the same old playlists or podcasts over and over? Maybe it's time to mix things up. Try something new. Hit explore. Avoid the blah and the boring. Before you even put your headphones in, add some fun in the mix. Say yabba dabba doo to a bowl of Pebble cereal and enjoy by the spoonful. Fruity and cocoa Pebble cereal. Less blah, more yabba dabba doo. Head to your nearest grocery store to buy Pebble cereal today. The Flintstones and all related characters and elements, copyright and trademark Hanna-Barbera.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Sign up for Greenlight today at greenlight.com/podcast.